G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing my tips for round 17 of the season. Let's see where we're at the moment. Don't look at where I'm at, but look up at the top of the table. We've got Langs up by 2 at the moment, sitting on 94. And I'm doing very nicely, sitting at 83. So I have made movements from 19th to 18th. So on the comeback, it is happening. All right, so I've got 5 last week. Bottom 43%, brutal. All right. Okay, let's try and have a good week this week. So we've got Collingwood at the MCG, and they are hosting the Bombers. Friday night, big game. Bombers need a lift. They've lost 3 of their last 4, as we can see there. They went down to the Cats by 45. Collingwood went down to the Suns by 11, so both coming off losses. I'm happy to go the Pies here. Gosh, it's either going to be a kick in it or a little bit over a kick, so I'm going to go 16 points to the Pies. I think they're a little bit too strong. Bombers, coming off a little bit. Pretty symptomatic of how sort of last season went as well. Playing some really good sides also will do that to you. Over to Marvel Stadium, got an interesting game here. We've got North Melbourne, and they are hosting Gold Coast. North obviously been a lot better in recent times. Went down to the Doggies by 17 points. Gold Coast could win over the Pies. They won by 11. And so North have won 1 game. Gold Coast haven't won away from home or away from any home venue that they've had. I'm going to go North Melbourne because the footy that they've played, they probably should have had like 2 or 3 wins, maybe. It might be a bit optimistic. They should have beat the Pies. Anyway. They didn't. I think they're in really good touch. Gold Coast yet to prove how good they are away from home. Came somewhat close to defeating Carlton a few weeks back, but I don't know. Just got a gut feel about North. Within 3 goals against the Dogs, I think they're playing some good footy in really good form. I can't be picking the favourites every week, but I've also got to pick the winners. So it's a fine line. Moving on to the Adelaide Oval, we've got Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs. Port, they got the 4 points, 1 by 2 against the Saints. The Doggies, as mentioned, 1 by 17. Tough game to pick, but I'm more confident in what the Dogs can do, so I'll be tipping the Dogs. It's really hard to know who's favourite here. I mean, if you look at money's one thing, but who the fans are tipping is another. I like what the Dogs are sort of capturing with their form. Port have just sort of been out of touch, really, and haven't been super deadly at home. And Doggies looking good, so I'll be going for the Western Bulldogs. GMHB Stadium, this is going to be a twilight game at Geelong and Hawthorn. The 4:35 game at the Cattery. When was the last time the Hawks won at the Cattery? It might be 2006, but they haven't played here very often. 2020 might have been the last time they played there. Very possible. Cats went to the MCG, won by 45. Hawks, really big win over West Coast. I don't even know what the margin was in the end, but it was a big win. I'll be going Geelong at the Cattery, but I dare say this one will be incredibly tough. Considering Hawthorn, I think they've won 8 of their last 9 or something to that effect. They've won a lot of games in a row. In ripping form, and if Geelong don't play their best, well, they won't win, clearly. But Geelong will have to be on their best behaviour and play their absolute best to get the win. So I'm going to say Geelong's going to be a couple of goals in it, I reckon. Over to NG Stadium, we've got GWS hosting Carlton. So GWS, they went down to, who did they have? I can't remember. The Crows, that's right. Went down by 16 points there at Adelaide Oval. And they've got Carlton who, they're in pretty decent form. Just getting 10-goal wins left, right and centre. Big win over the Tigers, about 10 goals. I'm going with Carlton on this occasion. They've got their game going massively. And, the Giants just can't sort of score and move from the back half at the moment. So I'm more comfortable with the Blues who are getting the wins on the board. Then we go over to Optus Stadium for the Saturday night game. We've got Fremantle, and they are hosting Richmond. Big win over the Swans by a point for the Dockers, and the Tigers, they Well, they battled pretty hard against the Blues, but probably within a 25 minute window, the game sort of fell apart for them, unfortunately, but relatively competitive outside of that. I feel like they've been plucky in recent times. I reckon they've won. They won there in 2023, sort of halfway through the year, but went down at home. But yeah, Dockers in really good form. I reckon they'll be getting the win here. Then on the Sunday, last 3 games of the round, we have Melbourne, and they are hosting West Coast. West Coast defeated them not too long ago, no lever. Eagles played out of their skin. Melbourne did anything but. The D's, they went down. It was a very gallant performance against the Lions. I think it was 5 points in it. Eagles, a big loss at home, and they've sort of fallen by the wayside a bit as the season has progressed. I'll be tipping the D's. Over to Marvel Stadium, we've got St Kilda. They are hosting Sydney. The Saints went down to Port Adelaide, a couple of points in it right at the very end. Sydney lost by points, so these teams have lost by a total of 3 points in the last week. Sydney to respond, I reckon, and I'll be tipping them to be way too strong for the Saints. Then the last game of the round, we've got at the Gabba, Brisbane are hosting Adelaide. The Lions a very close encounter with the D's and fortuitous to find the 4 points, won by 5. And Adelaide too strong for the Giants, getting a massive win at home. Probably too little too late. But I suspect the Lions to continue their good form. And they've won their last 4 of their last 5. At home, they'll be too strong. But they do play some close games. They had a draw early this season. It was a goal in it last time they played in 2023. So the time before in 2023. And then, it was a 17-point result Adelaide's way. So they know how to play a close game, that's for sure. Let's have a look. So I've gone Collingwood, North Melbourne, the Western Bulldogs, Geelong, Carlton, Fremantle, Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane to get the 4 points for this weekend's game, so round 17. And those are my picks for the week. Chuck in your picks in the comments below. Subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and get amongst the tipping competition if you want to have a crack at myself and everyone else in the competition. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.